how you're operating in that fashion. So I want TeeCee to introduce herself, and let's get into the conversation of overturning those no's in sell.
Hey everyone, my name is TeeCee and I support service organizations, nonprofits, SaaS companies, more or less, if you are trying to figure out your business, I help you simplify your business and scale your business, put in the right structures, systems, helping you with the helping you with the automation, just making sure that you're able to grow, scale your business effortlessly. And I'm loving out the whole thing in the comment section, and it's cracking me up. I'm not sure where all these emojis are coming from, but it's good to know that you can find it right here with different tap join. Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited, and I can't wait for us to talk about what we need to talk about today. So yeah.
All right, guys. So tap, tap, tap. Go ahead and get your likes, get your heart me's. Make sure that you follow the creators that come on my page. Make sure that you actually stay connected, because one of the biggest things that I've learned, especially in business, is that you are only as big and as connected as the people that you're connected to. So, the people you're around have big audiences and networks, and, they kind of are elevated, then it's going to only elevate you as well. I've been working with TeeCee for years, guys, so I know TeeCee, but now you guys get to know her on this channel as a part of what, I do in AJCEO Business Coaching Group. Now, I will say I will work with you on your business plans. I will make sure that you have structure, strategy, and, from the startup to the growth to the scale phase. But TeeCee is actually working on the back end with all of the things that you guys say, I don't understand. Like, what is this CRM? What is this, SEO? What is this flow? What is, like, how do I connect this to this? TeeCee actually can guide you through that, and also she does it for you. So a lot of times when people are like, I just want somebody to take over the work, like, TeeCee is one of the only people I know that like taking over the work, okay? Everybody does not like taking over the work because it is definitely hard work. So I want to kind of gear into this conversation today, because if you are, hey, the peaceful rulers, welcome. Appreciate you being in here. Make sure you get your heart me too, guys, because when you get your heart me, that actually allows you to accumulate points. Is right there at the top of the room with the heart. And also make sure you're tapping, because the more you tap, the more this comes out to that FYP page or FY, whatever y'all call it, right? It's basically to let people know we're here to teach you guys how to really be strong as a CEO in your business. And I thought about this conversation because myself and TeeCee are starting a series here. So guys, follow it, okay? Every time we do series, we do it for at least 30 days. But we always end up doing it for like 3 months sometimes, right? It just be so good. And it's just, I think we are really good at what we do, so much so that we enjoy it too much, okay? So I want you guys to get the benefit. Hey, Seed Sewing Sister, get the benefit of actually learning to grow in your business through, implementation, which TeeCee is really good at. But making sure you access the information first, right? Know why you're implementing, know what you're doing before you just start taking action and doing it. So we're going to be talking about today, really overturning those no's in sales. And I want to talk to TeeCee about this because I think that we have to get as many no's as possible in order to get to the big yeses. And especially in the beginning of business, because if you're not getting enough no's, first of all, you're not practicing. Okay. So as a business coach, I teach you guys how to actually practice. Like sometimes me and my clients will role play in the business conversations, in the sessions. I'll actually be the client. They'll be the person, the business owner, and then we'll switch and I'll be the business owner. They'll be the client. And we'll have these role plays where we actually are practicing what they're wanting to do in business. That creates confidence. It creates a lot of measurability on like, did I grow? Am I getting better? Right? But one thing about sales is that it's just a conversation. So when I think about it, I don't think about it like I used to. When I used to go to my sales job and they used to be like, okay, pitch and get 15 sales today. And I'm like, this is pressure. Like, I don't even know these people. Like, I don't even know my job good enough, right? But when you have a business, this is the best part about it. It's your own baby. You know everything about that thing. You know everything from the beginning of what you started to the end of what you started right now, right? And you'll continue. But you are the only person that can sell that thing the best. So if you're not actually getting to the point of being confident and saying like, I'm just going to take no's because I know in the beginning I'm actually just practicing. So people are not going to automatically want to buy what I have because there may be some things that I have to tweak and get better at before they understand my message. Like maybe my messaging is not exact where it needs to be. So maybe working on my messaging and seeing like who's attracted to what I'm doing and asking for support, mentorship, getting a coach, right? Those things allow you to grow quickly rather than figuring it out for yourself. Because the one thing I do not like, y'all, is I do not like being told no. I don't know nobody. Do y'all like being told no? I don't like being told no. But I will say this, because I have boundaries and because I know that I'm in business, I receive the fact that I have to get as many no's as possible to get to my yes. So we're going to talk about how to overturn those no's so it doesn't affect you so much while you're getting to your yes. But TeeCee, I want you to take over a little bit because people don't know you yet on my channel. So go ahead, take it away.
I mean, I love the conversation and I love where it's coming from and where it's headed towards. But while you were speaking, I was thinking to myself, yeah, that sometimes we say we don't like the no's, but one thing I've come to understand is for small businesses, solopreneurs, whatever you want to call it, we're literally the first set of people that tell ourselves no. Like literally, you'll be like, oh, people telling me no, but you have told yourself countless number of no's. And so sometimes it's I've come to understand that it's no longer about how many no's whoever want to tell us knows or what we want to say. It's how we respond to it. And that actually starts with you, right? I mean, it's so easy to say somebody said no to me. How about you tell me, TeeCee, I said no to myself. Now let's start with how you respond to yourself when you tell yourself no. Right? Allegra is laughing. I'm sure. I know, right? You didn't see that coming. But honestly, while you're speaking, I'm thinking to myself, it's so easy to point out other people and be like, yeah, I went to this person said no. I did this and this person said I reached out to this person to join my blah blah blah. Have we ever thought about how many times we have actually said no to ourselves? How many times we have actually turned on that negativity to ourselves first? Think about it. I mean, it's not for anybody to respond, but it's just for us to think about it. And I feel for us right now, this conversation is not meant to say no or yes. No, that's not what this conversation is meant for. This conversation is meant to help us groom how we can start to respond to the negativity that we push both to ourselves and other people throughout us, right? So, I mean, we don't want to see those negativity anymore as setbacks because you will keep getting that no. Like I still get no's from myself, from people, but the interesting part is that the more I get no, the more I keep doing what I'm doing because it's like earlier when I started, I would get really upset and I sometimes I would cry because I cry a lot. I cry when I'm happy and cry when I'm sad. I cry when I'm excited. So I cry for different reasons. So just in case you see me you see me crying, you should know that just don't be too fast to say, oh, something bad happened. It could just be a good thing, and yeah, and so it happens that way, right? But we want to not see those negativity that has been pushed on us as setbacks anymore. We want to see it as strength. We want to see it as power. And that's exactly what this life is about. That's what these conversations will be about. So I believe, Allegra, we're going to be picking on examples just so that you're able to visualize yourselves in all of these scenarios. And what I would say that you can do also is if you can, try to think about scenarios that you've had yourself in, right? Think about scenarios that you've been maybe in the past. Think about times when you've told yourself no's. What was the reason why you did that? And share it with us, right? We want to be able to give you relatable reverse to those scenarios, so that we don't want to talk about our experience. We want to have that role play whole, thing with your scenario. So think, let's start to think about it, because trust me, I know you have tons of examples. And for every time somebody you've reached out to gave you maybe a negative vibe or a negative comment or a no for an answer, share it with us, right? Let's give you a reverse of that particular energy, so you'll be powerful. Control is key. So yeah.
Yeah, please get your tappers out because we need to be on the FYP page like now. Okay? Because this is powerful. Thank you, TeeCee, for bringing that up. And thank you guys for your likes. Thank you for your support. Jared, I see, Jayed, I see you jump back in the building. Thank you so much, Numi. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Shayna Loyalty, Angelica, thank you so much. Renita Reed, thank you for being here. So here's what I love so much about where we're going is that TeeCee just blew me out the water, y'all. Why you do that? Like, TeeCee will do that in a moment's notice. She'll be like, let me put a twist on it. Ugh. And that is such a good twist, because the truth is that I honestly, I wasn't expecting it. But while she was speaking, what came up for me was that the fact that we do subconsciously tell ourselves no all the time. Like, I acknowledge it because of the simple fact that now I can catch it, right? Because your thoughts literally always become things, and you're always thinking something. So if you're not monitoring your thoughts, you don't even know what's coming up for you, right? You literally don't know what's popping in your mind sometimes. Oh, Angelica, I must have pulled you up, girl. I'm so sorry. I was like, I don't know why I was pushing that thing, but I was liking. But you supposed to be up here, honey.
Okay, take me down.
Oh, girl. Okay. I'm so sorry. I noticed
No,
that I
it's
was doing
okay.
that.
I'm just supporting TeeCee.
Oh, thank you, girl.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna drop you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get to know more about you. Yes, I love when TeeCee people come in here because listen, it's alignment. All right. But yeah, I feel like it's one of those things, guys, where your no's, right, to yourself reflect the no's that other people give you to, right? Like when you say no to yourself, like it should irritate you just as much as someone else saying no to you, if that's irritating you, right? But the problem is, I think that what we do is we psychologically give ourselves so many no's that when we get an extra no, we're like, no, not another no. Like I tell myself no all the time. I don't need another one.
And then you'll be like, the no's are too much. I can't take this anymore, because you literally have given yourself 10,000. And so another additional one is like, nah.
You know what? I think it comes from a level of restriction, because honestly, we do restrict ourselves from growth in the beginning of business because everything is new. Okay. And I give grace to this because not one business owner that I work with, I said, you're doing it wrong. Not one. Because every time you do something, it's helping you learn and grow through whatever process you're going through, right? So I love what you said, TeeCee, because your no's sometimes from other people can just be an irritation of an excess of no's from what you're already giving yourself.
Yeah.
If you are allowing yourself to tell, like if you are receiving, I call this the, what is it called? The joy of receiving. When you're always willing to give yourself a yes to something that you desire or you feel like you deserve, then when someone's no comes your way, you don't worry about it because you're like, oh, that's fine. You're just not my person. No, that's fine. You're just not wanting what I have right now. Okay, that's fine. You'll call me 3 years later. I've done that. I've done that where I've literally known that someone didn't want, look, that's fine. I will see you in 3 years. Because the mistakes that you'll make that we're trying to prevent now will still be there in 3 years.
True.
So we're not gonna pressure nothing. And one thing I'll say, this is what I'll say, guys, because I just want to bring up an example, okay? The biggest thing I used to do, we had a vending event this weekend. I'll tell y'all from an example. So I went out and I helped my mom launch her business. I've been her coach for the past 3 months. Okay. When people pay, they pay attention, blood or not. I do not care. Okay. And this lady has launched her business and she put up her first vending table. My mother's an excellent student. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Excellent student. And this was not like this before, right? But we have to get on pages where we want and desire things in our life, and then we find the people that align with us. Sometimes it could be the closest person to. And we go to our first vending event, helping her launch her brand in the actual physical market. We had a blast. And one of the things that my mom was, she was nervous, but she did not care. I said, what happens when you get a no? She said, oh, just go to the next person. So in her mind, it just wasn't even a thing. Now, some of us, we just don't even have it as a thing. It's like, oh, they just said, no, I don't care, right? For us highly sensitive people like me, a no hurt, right? When I first got my nose, I was like, ugh, that hurt my stomach. But here's the thing. After years of just doing it anyway, right? Thank you, Angelica. Congratulations, Mom. I'll let her know. After years of doing it anyway, uncomfortably, it was discomfort. It was discomfort every single step along the way. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, y'all. Okay? It was discomfort because I had to keep talking to people, even though they were telling me no. And what I learned, and this is what I want you guys to kind of take in today, and I used this weekend. It was so funny. Okay? When people were walking up to the booth, I immediately was like, hey guys, come on over. Do you know that the first 3 people that I did that to, they looked at me, they smiled, they said, nope, and kept walking. And I was like, okay, thank you, bye. Turn around, right? Did the same thing. Hey, come on guys, come over here, right? No, thank you, bye. I did the same thing every time, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because I wanted to create energy. Your nose can create energy for you. So when you're showing something I call indifference, right? Look it up. Indifference is I care, but I don't. And this is the first thing I think I brought up to you, TeeCee. I had to master this. This was one of the things that I had to take my feelings out of. I could not have my feelings in place when indifference was there. Because indifference means that I'm here for a purpose, okay? And that's what I care about. Anything outside of that is kind of like, meh. And the purpose of us being there this weekend was to play a game with people. So when people didn't want to play a game, we were like, meh, okay, next. And you know, after those 3 people that told me no, do you know that after that, if I would have got discouraged from the first no, you know what I would have did? I've been like, all right, let me sit down. Let me wait. I'm not going to talk to nobody for another hour. That means 100 people walk by and I ain't talk to nobody. Do you know that's what we do in our sales calls? We stop calling, we stop following up, we stop doing the things because one person said no. I literally use that as an example, guys, because you're indifference, meaning that you're not personally there to please anyone. You're there to do the goal that you set for yourself, which our goal was, we want to play a game with as many people that come by our table, whether they buy something or not. Mm-hmm. So if you use the skill of indifference, right, which means that when people come by the table, you're not worrying about the no's. You're just basically saying every time you get a no, I'm indifferent because I don't know what that no means. It doesn't matter because I'm looking for my yes. So do it with a great attitude. Wave. Hey, thank you guys. Do the same thing when people tell you no on social media. Do the same thing when people tell you no on the sales calls. Oh, great. Be excited about your no. Because when people see you're excited about your no, they actually start second guess why they even said no. They're like, wait a minute. And I've tested it. Y'all, promise you. I've tasted it. I've literally done this and I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let it go because I know you got to share. I'm going to let it go. But y'all, you got me riled up, TeeCee, because I literally just came off this weekend. And if I say that I haven't been in the field a long time, that would be different. I literally just did this weekend in the field. And so I know it still works today. You just talk to as many people as you can. And as soon as someone tells you no, you go, thank you so much. Go to the next person right away. Because that person, hey, fiance, hey, boo, I love you. But as soon as that next person comes up, that other person will start to question why they said no. And then when you get the people that say yes, okay, I'm going to tell y'all what to do next to go ahead and overturn more of those no's. Go ahead, TeeCee. I want to hear you share.
Oh no, I'm loving all the conversation. And we're talking about, let's start with ourselves first, right? Um do you all know that the first rule, especially with business, is, I mean, this can be tricky, don't get me wrong, because it's, I'm going to tell you why it's tricky, right? But the first rule is understand that business is not personal, but emotional. And so it's contradicting,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, how am I supposed to be emotional? And I'm also good. Listen, these things are not personal. Right? Now, the earlier you understand that just because somebody says a no to you, it's not necessarily your problem. It could be their problem. So when you start to chastise yourself first, then you make it your problem. Okay. So rule number one, that's how I look at it, right? My first rule number one, understand that business is not personal. Okay. Understand that the reactions other people give you is not personal, right? There are 1001 reasons why they might have reacted the way they've reacted. Okay. I'm going to give you an example, but I want us to understand this rule first. Now, first, understand it's not personal. Now, the second thing you want to understand is that once people give you that negative vibe, now you're not responsible for their action. The only thing you're responsible for is your reaction to it. Okay? Even in life, aside from business, I just gave you rule number one. Allegra be like laughing. I just gave you rule number one for the business. Now, this is for life generally, right? So you're not responsible for, Now, the only thing I would say is make sure that you tidy up your own part of the cake, right? Make sure that you have your offers check. Make sure that you're confident. You see, this is where confidence comes in, right? Don't go thinking saying is a no is vibe. You cannot. Listen, it's confidence, but you need to have your confidence needs proof. Okay, don't go all confidence, and then it hits you and then you realize you're the problem. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying tidy up your end and then show up confidently. Now, when they give you that action, it's your reaction that counts. That is basically what makes the mark. Let me give you an example. So has anyone ever been in a situation, maybe you get on a call with a client, right? This one. Now you get on a call with a client. You'll be like already created the proposal, right? Those clients that will be like, oh no, I need a foolproof proposal. And then you'll be like, create the proposal, everything. You send it. They responded to the proposal. Okay. And they're like, oh, I love the proposal. Amazing. Beautiful. Can we get on a call? Now you get on the call. No. It's even getting more interesting.
I'm already feeling
now
weird.
You get on the call, right? The energy is so beautiful, vibing, everything. In your head, you literally already spent all the money for that contract. You spent the money already, right? You're just waiting for them to drop it. And then second day, third day, remember this particular client tell you, don't worry, I'm going to get back to you. We're going to sign it. We're going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And you'll be like, I just sealed the deal. First day, second day, week 1, week 2, they just literally ghosted you. This kind of scenario is for the brave heart. And honestly, I have been in those situations countless number of times. See, the first time this happened to me, I couldn't breathe. Like I felt like I was like I couldn't, because I didn't know. Like I'm like I there was no explanation. Why did you? Oh my God! See, tell me no, do anything, but don't ghost me. That gets me mad. Like in my head, I'm like, I didn't. One thing I dislike a whole lot is being ignored. Now, this is me personally. Like, say anything to me, but don't ignore me. Now, this is not only being ignored, like, they be like, ghost you. Now, that stings a lot. No, think about the scenario. One thing I've come to understand, using that scenario as an example, I've come to understand that what I would do, or what I started to do, is before I get on the call, before anything, I already have checked my offers, checked everything, make sure that, okay, they had everything they needed to make a decision, all of those. Now, usually, now I would say, oh, make a commitment at a particular time, right? Now, if you insist and be like, oh, tomorrow, all of those, I am already like turning the entire situation like to my benefit. Now, I'm already telling myself that if they do not go as planned, one, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to work with this client because one, you're not reliable. You can't stick to your words. It's against my values. You see the scenario? I'd be like, tell myself, T, it's against your values. You cannot work with somebody who is not reliable. Now, if they are not reliable to keep to their words, how do they actually treat their customers? Now, girl, I'd be like, turn everything upside down. You only can imagine what I think about you and your business now. Oh, if I write a full page, you'll be scared. And then I'd be like, I would tell myself, okay, you know what? I've done my stuff. They know what they're doing now. If they don't, I turn it. I literally spiral everything. Now, what I'm telling myself is no longer, hey, they ghosted me. No, I'm not saying that. Two things I would say. It's either they're not ready. Yeah, if anybody asks me, I'm not, oh, they're not ready. Whenever they're ready, they know when to find me. Or I don't want to work with those kind of people because, hey, they don't fit into who my ideal clients are. So it's good. It's okay. So no hard feelings. Now that's how I started to work past it. Now this would not stop me. Now tomorrow, because some people be like, take it personal, because I would take it personal back in the days, right? When you come back to me, I'm like, all personal, and I'm like, I don't want to
like got
work
an
with you.
attitude.
Yeah.
We know.
I'm like, I don't want to work
Because I
with
run
you.
into
You
people like
ghosted
that all the time. I'm like, oh, that no hurt your feelings, didn't it? No, okay.
you know,
You don't even know that person that well, and they said no, and now your feelings are hurt. That's okay.
you know, so instead of saying, oh, I've been ghosted, I turn it around, right? I turn it around. I tell myself, oh, they're not ready. Or I tell myself, oh, they don't fit into the people I want to work with, based off of what the scenario actually played out. Now, at this junction, it is me reacting to their action. It is me being in control of the situation. So I'm not going to tell myself, oh, I have been ghosted, because that is a negative energy I'm passing to myself. Right? Because when I tell myself, oh, I have been ghosted, I'm telling myself, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Then you start getting ideas like, oh, maybe you're not good enough. Or maybe something you did wrong happened. Or something you did, But I would tell myself they're not ready. Whenever they're ready, they know where to find me. So I will go for it, send the email, the follow-ups email, send all of those, and I'll put it in the email. Oh, I understand the blah 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 blah. Whenever you're ready, reach me on this and live, and that's it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I even go ahead, connect with them on social media. I'm connecting with them because I want them to understand that, hey, I run a business. If I'm not interested in a particular offer or a particular listing, right? Because I've already given my word commitment, it is my responsibility to reach out to that provider to say, oh, I cannot go on with this particular project because of certain reasons. That says a lot about the integrity of your organization.
Oh, yeah.
So, but if you can't do that, what that means is that your integrity is being questioned. So you see, it's not my problem, it's now their problem.
I like that perspective. While you were talking, I don't know, God would just be dropping stuff in my spirit, guys. I mean, I can't really hold back from it. So I don't know if this relates, but one thing that I was just given is like, we are literally in ICU. Okay, y'all know what ICU is, right? When you're in recovery, you're trying to like get through like after, a really bad situation in your life, and now you really need that surgery or that help, support, right? That level of support. So, I think about ICU in this manner because we have a lot of people that are trying to recover from people pleasing, perfectionism, right? Like for my high sensory individuals like myself, like something as small as like a bad look can make you spiral out of control, right? So people don't even have to tell you no. They can just look at you and you think they said no, right? I mean, seriously, I've studied this, guys. I've been studying, highly sensitive people, which is HSP, which a lot of people I think are confused with ADD. People think that they're ADD, but they're really HSPs, right? Highly sensitive people. And just something as small as like a wrong look makes you feel like, oh, they're telling me no. And we want to put you guys through ICU because I said the first letter, which was indifference, right? So I'm going to take you through all three letters and we're going to tell you why this is ICU. Because your first level of indifference means that you're focusing on you, like TeeCee said. Like, I'm really about why I'm here. If they say no, then that's just a part of the process, right? That's indifference. It's not taking anything personally. It's giving yourself a minute to just process even why they said no. Sometimes it's just about an investigation, right? Yeah. That's why we even tell people, hey, you said no, give us feedback. Why did you say no, right? But the second letter, C, is for me confidence. Because as you become confident in who you are in your business, right? And this is why, TeeCee, I didn't want to bring this up today, but I'm going to say it, guys, because I am so enthralled in the fact that this rebrand has really brought up stuff for me that I haven't thought about in a long time, right? I have stopped asking my clients to tell me their mission. I have stopped asking my clients to tell me what their strategy is, right? Like literally, like before they come and they're like, oh, help me. I'm like, okay. Like I would literally dive into all these different aspects of their business, right? Because the truth is that what they're doing in their business is not evoking enough confidence for them to feel good enough to show up where someone says no. And then they go, okay, it doesn't matter because I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not confident in your business itself, I mean, I'm talking about, guys, from the time that you actually have the business idea, right? I know some people that I've worked with and they're like, oh, I started the business because someone else told me that it would be great to do, right? But is that something that you really want to do? Is it something that you really can actually thrive in? Because business is supposed to make money. And it has to meet a market. We're not talking about just being entrepreneurial because we know a lot of people dipping in and out, right? So
Yeah.
This is we're talking about having consistent flow of loyal buyers. And when you are confident in what you do, okay, and this is what I see a lot of people do this, TeeCee. I actually need my light. It's dark out here, y'all. But when you're confident in what you do, right, in your business, what happens is when you go, because I remember this, and I'll give you guys examples, right? I used to do sales in like, how they have like the little stands and like the Sam's Clubs and stuff like that. I wasn't part of the actual store, but I worked at a marketing company where we were able to license some of our booths in there. So we would have all these different products we would take from businesses we work with, and we would bring them into Sam's Club and, you know, all these different big box retailers. And it was really, really stuff that I thought was really cool, right? Like, there was this makeup kit, and like, I don't know, you guys have probably seen it before, but it pulls out slides of eyeshadow, and it has brushes, and it has lip gloss, and it's like a little, I called it a makeup Swiss Army knife, right? That's not what they called it, but guys, let me tell you something. I had to learn how to maneuver this kit and how to be so confident in what was in each part of the kit. I didn't even wear makeup. I don't wear makeup like that. But I literally had to learn that each part of this kit had a certain value to people that wanted to buy it. And in order for me to understand what that value was, I had to learn it myself. So I would use the kit. I would put on the lip gloss. I would see the quality of the makeup. I would see how, and I would find all the good pieces of it that I could exert to a person coming up to me and saying, well, why is this good for me? Same thing for your business. How many times are we actually using the same principles that we're teaching? I have literally run into entrepreneurs that are like, I teach people how to do A, B, and C, but they're not doing it for themselves. And it's one of the areas that I think we need to lean into, because confidence comes from doing. Confidence comes from activity. When you're constantly doing something, like for example, when my mom this weekend, I work with my mom, I don't mind that, but to hear her give me a review and a compliment for doing what I do y'all know that brings me confidence to say, like, listen, it's not about validation, it's about confidence that I know what I'm freaking doing. Now, if I go into a room and somebody goes, that doesn't sound right, well, so what? I don't care, because maybe to you it doesn't sound right, you know, but that's, like TeeCee said, it's not my responsibility to, you know, make it make sense to you right now, right? If you have a desire, you're going to follow me, you're going to see what's going on if we align. But my job is to show up, to deliver, and to do the work, period. And so I think, like, sometimes we lack confidence and we're not actually working on our business, right? We're in it and all, but but you know, we're not actually working on, you know, like, are you following up? Are the links working? Are people actually seeing what the message you're spreading is saying, or are they hearing what you say and going back to your website and your social media and seeing and hearing something completely different? That builds confidence and it resonates with your audience. So when you speak, that your audience is not like saying no so quickly too. So that's one thing that came up for me for the C part, because confidence is necessary. Let me go get my light. Go ahead, TeeCee.
No, I mean, I do love this part because, you know, I was thinking to myself, so many people, especially for service providers who think that they're not valuable enough. I've had situations where people be like, oh, somebody reached out to them and was asking for their services, right? Asking for their services for free with so much entitlement. You know, I was like, oh, come and do this. You know, I'm going to get you this. You're going to get connections and all of that. Listen, when you say no, most times it is powerful. It's strength you're building. Because depending on what it is, most times I would say, if you are trying to give your, I put a post on Facebook, and I think I should actually put it on Instagram as well. And I put a post on Facebook, and I said, let me see if I can even find it. And I said, don't give your skills, expertise, all of it for free. Now, obviously, the exceptions, right, which I also stated under the post. But the reason why I said it is because most times, you start to accommodate the negativity we're talking about. Most times, because we are not confident in our services, you know, you think that is because you're not confident, because you do not understand the value that you bring, you kind of make yourself look unnecessarily accessible. You make yourself look desperate. You make yourself look cheap. You make yourself look like, oh, I'm just going to use them, or I'm just going to use her, I'm just going to use him, you know, and later you're upset. You're upset because maybe they don't treat you well. They don't treat you well because you don't treat yourself well, right? They give you the whole negative vibe because that's what you give yourself. Okay. And especially for service providers, if you a coach, a consultant, you provide any services, y'all are like very susceptible to this particular scenario. Okay. And so, to Allegra's point, confidence is key. If you want to have that shift, okay, if you want to start to build that shift, you want to have that shift, turning those negative vibes, those no's, into strength for you and your business, confidence is key, because you cannot give what you don't have, and you shouldn't demand what you cannot give. All right. You don't expect people to treat you right and give you that whole positive vibe when you don't encourage it, right? When you don't give it. What you give is what you get. So you want to start first to incorporate that whole confidence into your business. It's the same thing. I was in a session yesterday, and then somebody was telling me, "Oh, TC, I'm waiting for this product to be ready before I push it out." And I'm like, listen, do you know that there are several steps to ensuring a product is successful way before you building your website or web page or web app or whatever? I said, that's just one piece from the whole piece. Do you hear that there's something called market research? Do you hear there's something called, do you hear that there's so many things that needs to be done before that particular product is pushed out? So if you keep waiting for the product to be perfect, and there is no product in this planet Earth that is ever perfect. Why do you think your iPhone keeps bringing out new editions? That's because there's always an update. There's always something to add. There's some always. So if those big folks understand the power with innovation, evolving, and all of that, why do you think you need to charge yourself by waiting? Now, when you keep waiting, you're you're damaging your own self-confidence, right? Now, when somebody tells you no, even way before I tell you no, you've already told yourself 1,000 no's.
Oh, yeah.
And you know the very funny part? I mean, to my own example, I realized that it was because I was always telling myself no. No became like a piece of cake, right? And so this kind of no's are no's that I could have like maybe avoided. But because I already had brought myself down in the first place, so every no felt like a disaster. So I already have crucified myself way before it happened. So most times we want to check ourselves as well. Even the way we talk about the shift, we talk about turning, we talk about all of this. You can't do it if your mindset is not yet in check, if your confidence is still low. How can you sell me anything when you're yet to even build that confidence that I want to buy into? Now, I'm talking about service providers because people buy into you first. I mean, you are the one they buy into, not necessarily the service, because you can get the service elsewhere. But maybe, for example, just because Allegra is a business coach, right? But there are thousands of business coaches. Now, when somebody comes to Allegra, they're not necessarily buying the fact that, oh, business coach. No, they're buying the fact that Allegra's personality and the way she delivers on whatever, on her promises, is basically what is going to get them the results. So that's what they're buying. Now, if there's no confidence around it, what are we talking about? So yeah, I totally agree with that. We want to start with that.
I do want to add that it's not always about the fact that I'm the best coach. Is, you know what I'm saying, like, to your point, sometimes it's just because I'm in front of their face before you are, right? Like,
but you're in front of their faces because you're confident in what you have.
yeah, but here's what I also want to say, TeeCee, too. I wasn't always confident.
True.
And I still showed up. Okay. And I think I want to create this measure for a lot of people who think like showing up means that you have to be confident, because that is not true. I showed up when I was not confident. So and I want to say this because a lot of people that I've worked with have had that same feeling of like, I have to be ready to show up, or I have to be ready to make the sale, or I have to be ready to start the business. There is no ready. Confidence comes from practice, like I just said, right? So if I'm actually practicing to become confident, at some point in time, I have to actually not be confident. So for some of us to show up only when we're confident, for someone to only, take the no when we're confident, right? Like I've had people go, like even my sister, if you guys saw the reel that I posted on the Instagram channel and Facebook, on both my page and a To Be Honest page, you'll see it. My sister was coming to the event this weekend, and the first thing she said walking in was, I worked on my nerves, y'all. I had to get myself together. Because the truth is, when you're doing something, it doesn't matter if it's for you or for someone else, when you don't feel 100% ready, there's a certain level of nervousness that comes up. But here's the truth. You're never going to be ready. Right? Like even at a point that you feel like you're ready, there's always more that you could have done. Always. I've done it all the time. And for us high achievers, because I'm HSP and high achieving, guys, HA, HSP, I'm figuring it out. I literally look at the fact that my high achieving self will constantly try to increase the measure every time. Every time. I don't meet the bar. I never do, right? Because I'm always high achieving. So sometimes my confidence level comes from the fact that I just completed what I said I was going to do today. Period. Sometimes my confidence level comes from the fact that, hey, I talked to 100 people today. Period. Maybe I didn't make a sale, but guess what? I talked to 100 people today. Right? I can learn from that. I can look back and say, in all those experiences, what came up for me that was a no? How did I deal with that? I told you guys I'm using this weekend as an example because it's the first thing that came up when I talked about me and TeeCee prepared for this live, where we said we want to talk to you guys about actually overturning those no's, right? Because we know that this is an issue. It's not even a question about it. I mean, sometimes, like TeeCee, before we go to the last letter, because the last letter is you, I'm going to tell y'all what that means in a second. But something else came up for me, right? And this is a problem I have, and I think y'all have to help me with it, okay? So y'all please just give me grace, because I'm being very transparent right now. I hate when people tell me that something is there in their business and it's not. I know this is petty, guys. Just hear me out. You said the website was there, it wasn't there. You said the link was there, it was nowhere to be found. You said you sent me a DM, you lied. Where is the responsibility to actually making sure that what you say is really what it is? And I tell you this, I believe it's because we are confident, but we're not doing our checks and balances. Too confident. So confident that we overlook the fact that people are saying no because they can't click the link that you say is there, but it's not.
But it's not there. True.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just one of my pet peeves, guys. I mean, I will be honest with you. I give grace where it's due, but don't tell me to click on something that you haven't vetted yourself. It's your business. Now, I've been a victim of this too for myself. I've done this to me. Okay. I've been the one to say, guys, click on the bio. Why aren't they clicking? Why are you not making any money? Why are they giving me all these no's? Because the link don't work, sis.
True.
Because when I looked in the bio, the link was not in the bio, sis. And this is not
some other link is there.
It's not, there's nothing. The link is broken. We don't check your stuff, because confidence doesn't just come from people giving you accolades and saying, well done, sis. Well done, sir. That's not where confidence come from. Real confidence come from when you check your own stuff and you know it's right. I'll stop.
Sure. I love that. And you're so right. I agree. I agree. If we're going to have this shift, then we should check ourselves first. We should check ourselves first, before we start to do anything, because if anybody's going to say no to you, and you're going to have, and you want to get to react positively and turn it to your favor, you should know that you're doing all of your check and balances done, check, so you know that you're doing what you need to do. Because honestly, I've come to understand that there is no that is a bad no. All them no's are good no's.
Oh, yeah.
They're all good no's, because it's either trying to show me something or it's trying to teach me something. It's always to my advantage at the end of the day, or it's trying to save me from something. So at the end of the day, all them no's are good no's. They're good things, but how do you use it? How do you leverage it? You want to your point, Allegra, start with checking yourself first. And that's so true. I've been in situations like that too, where I'm like, oh, so what's happening? And then I'm like, oh, I'm the problem. Okay.
Well, the no came from us first. And then
I didn't know first. And I think that's what I was saying earlier. Let's be careful to know that we aren't the architect of the no first. We're not the beginners of the no. We didn't set that pathway of no to get that other person's no. Because sometimes we are the reasons why people say no, because we already told ourselves no before the main no came up. So let's make sure that we're doing what we need to do before that. Yeah, I guess we're going to be talking about different examples next live session, I guess.
Yeah. And honestly, guys, we can go through a whole bunch of different examples right now. An example of someone telling you no could be you actually responding to someone in the DM on your social media account. And now, after TeeCee, just get an example. This is a prime example. Someone goes, hey, I love what you're doing. And then they say, hey, let me get that. They comment the word that you're supposed to comment to get into the program. And then you send the link, and then there's no click. There's no follow through. One of the things that I will say this, number one, sometimes it's not always a no. I just want to say that. Sometimes it's not always a no. The way you know it's a no is when they actually say no, or they actually give you a blatant reason why they can't move forward. When you have that in your docket, that's good. But don't let it go past 3 times. 3 no's and a go. Every time someone gives me an excuse, I go, okay, that's kind of like a no, but I'll take it again. Right? After the 3rd time you give me the same excuse or something different, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's pretty much a no, or a delayed response. So I'm just going to wait for them to get it together, but I'm not going to focus on, following up and saying, hey, are you ready to get into it? Right? Literally, guys, if you're in your DMs and you're one of those people that do DM strategies, I have some of my clients do those, and you're going to get a lot of no's, first of all, if you're not organically marketing. So if people don't already know what you're doing, if you're not live streaming, if you're not posting about it, people are literally confused as to why you're getting in their DMs and why you're asking them to participate in something that they never showed interest in the first place. That's number one, because I get it all the time. Okay. So when you get those type of no's, number one, I need you to go back to the drawing board. Look at why you think they're actually saying no in the DMs. Because familiarity, people having that no trust factor, those are 2 areas that you have to master first before you get in their DMs and you go, hey, here's what you're interested in, right? Because I've had people come on my Facebook, and I'm gonna tell you guys, some people go, well, as long as they comment in the chat, in the comments, then that should have been it, right?
Yeah.
No. People, listen, people will tell you they want something all day long. I've had people come to me multiple times with the same yes, with the same, heart in the comment and send me this. I've sent them the same DM. Have they moved forward? No. Some people are just straight no's. And what you have to, number one, understand and familiarize yourself with that type of avatar. So I will leave y'all with this part, because this is one example I can give y'all. If you do a DM strategy and you're getting a lot of people in the DMs that are telling you no, that's not because of you. It's not a bad thing. It's just helping you learn and understand why they are telling you no. And honestly, I think like doing no's in the DM is the most trackable asset, because when you get no's on a phone call, it's kind of hard to track that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, what could have happened along the way for them to say no? Was it an email I missed? Did I not respond quickly? Did I see something else? But when you get people to follow you down a social media funnel where you posted, you can see that they liked your post. You can see that they've engaged with your content. You can see that they have actually like put in the comments that they're interested. The only thing next to do is to figure out why they need it.
True.
That's it. So being in the DMs, if you get to that part, guys, number one, overturning that negative means that figure out why they reached out to you in the first place. And if they didn't reach out to you in the first place, why are you in their DMs? Why are you in there? Are you cold call? Are you cold DMing? Because if you're cold DMing, that means that you're going to get a lot of no's, and you're going to have to be happy with that. Because cold DMing means that you're just filtering numbers. You're filtering through numbers. 100 people here, 100 people there. Like, you're just basically getting to the people that may be interested, right? And you're doing it quickly because you really don't have a lot of time, but you have a lot of money to spend. So you're like, okay, I'm just going ahead and pay for these ads and get in these DMs, right? But if you're in people's DMs and you're spending your time there, you want to be very methodical. You don't want to spend your time just cold DMing people. You want to, number one, figure out who your audience is. And then once they're in that space for you and you get in their DMs and they say no, your only job to overturn that negative is to ask why.
That's true. That's true. I mean, getting the right the right strategy and putting those in place is very important. I mean, so many times people say, oh, I got nobody is buying. And then the first question is, who are you selling to? Who are you speaking to? Some people would take a chunk load of cold leads and then send them massive emails. And when they don't respond, you'd be like, oh, nobody's sending email marketing isn't working. Girl, you literally sent it to a bunch of people who are clueless about who you are. They don't even know you. I mean, they're literally going to block you. And if you're not careful, they're going to report your domain because you're doing it wrong, So, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. And just to the point, this is actually Lisa's last letter, which is U, which stands for understanding, guys. I said, I see you. Okay. We just had this drop in our spirit today. And that kind of leads into what I'm saying, because let's just stick to this one area of getting no's in the DM, right? Let's just say that, we're actually following through a strategy where we are posting at least. I'll give you guys an example of a client that came to me recently, and she said, oh my God, Allegra, I don't understand why nobody is responding. I'm so frustrated. I'm posting every day. And nobody's responding. And they act like they don't hear me. And I'm thinking, like, what is going on that she literally can post every day? No, that's odd, because first of all, if you're posting to an audience that wants to hear what you have to say, then they're going to give you at least a like they're going to engage at some point. So I asked her if I could look at her social media and give her an audit. Gave her an audit on the spot. And what was happening, TeeCee, was that she was posting in a closed group with just her.
Oh.
She was on social media posting in a closed group with just her, and she couldn't figure out why no one was responding. And she was thinking everyone was just denying her, not really feeling what she was saying, right? Which means that, say, if she would have promoted a product or she put something out there, they wouldn't have bought either because they would have never.
I mean, they didn't see it. No.
Right?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, they would have never saw it. So I just wanted to emphasize that, because at the end of the day, we have to be very mindful about the simple fact that sometimes we're operating in a way where we think that people are actually seeing what we do, but we're not understanding what is going on. And so we just assume that people see it and they're not.
They're not. It's true.
I want you to comment on that, TeeCee. I gotta pause for a moment. Please comment on that.
You know, so sometimes I've come to understand that understanding what goes on in our business is very important. And to be very honest, that's actually why I started the academy, where basically, because most times you have people be like, oh, TeeCee, build me systems, build me this, do that, you know, funnels, all those great stuff. But we don't even understand what is happening. We don't even understand. I would call them basic, simple things that happen in our businesses. Now, most times when we talk about clarity, we talk about you being aware of what's going on in your business. It's not because somebody wants to take money from you. It's because those are the little things that actually save you time, energy, and unnecessary cost. What you don't know, what you don't understand in your business is actually bigger than you. I'm going to give you an example. There's this lady who reached out to me, and then she's like, oh, something happened to her website and she didn't understand, she didn't know. So she reached out to somebody on Fiverr, and they're like, oh, this blah blah blah. They gave her 1001 thing that was wrong. And then she'd be like, okay, no problem, can you fix it? And they'd be like, yeah, I'm going to fix it for $50. And then she's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cheap. And then she rushed and she gave it to them. You know, every single thing that guy said was the problem, he literally made sure that that was now the problem. Now, when he collected the $50, he then the problem he listed then happened. And then she's like, oh, it's even worse than how it happened. And then he then gave her a foolproof proposal of how he can solve the problem. And then it was reading till almost like 6,000, right? And then she's like, oh, she thought 5 hours supposed. I'm like, yeah, it was cheap, $50. And the $50 cost you a $6. You know, the only problem that happened was the fact that her SSL has expired.
Gotta unmute. What?
That was the only problem. And all she needed to do was go to her email.
Was renew her SSL.
And just renew the thing. Literally, this lady was almost in
$29.95
tears.
at most. Bruh, are y'all serious?
She came back to me. You know what I told her? I said, why are you just coming to me now? Why didn't you do that? She was like, you know, TeeCee, you know, I just thought, you know, it was going to be expensive. I said, expensive what? I would have just told you to go to your email and I just found it for you. Why? Why would you? Why?
Okay, wait. So I didn't hear the first part of this story and why this person did this, but I find this a lot in the market, right? And I think this comes from a place where, you know, I don't know what this is, but when I started my business, guys, I did not think I could do it alone. There was nothing in me that said you can just do this alone, right? But I do find a certain people. I don't work with these individuals, but I do find there's a lot of individuals that kind of feel privileged enough to just kind of know it all, right? I wish I had that life. And I think it's really important just to kind of understand this, right? Because when you're in a place where you're not willing to be guided or to be supported, and you're wanting to do it all by yourself, the mistakes that you're making are exhausting you. They are wiping you out clean. I have worked with clients that by the time they come to me, they're like, Allegra, this is my last hope.
You're exhausted.
They are tired of trying it out. And so I don't know if that's a sickness. I don't know if that's something that is just out there, but I do know that for anyone who is doing business or any sort of entrepreneurship, I don't care if it's a licensed business, it's entrepreneurship by itself, it is work. It takes more than just one brain, okay? And I think sometimes when we have these, guys, when we have our own, because a business is flowing from who we are. So when we have our own issues of like, you know, being stubborn or not wanting to be told what to do, right? Because I know a lot of people feel like that. They're like, oh, I don't need nobody telling me what to do. That's a personal thing. That's a personal feeling. Anyone who is in position of power, whether you're a celebrity, president of the United States, or whoever, everyone has guidance, from a coach to mentors to advisory boards to people around them. So I think that sometimes, TeeCee, when I hear these stories about people who have the solution right in front of them, but are so bored with the fact that they can get the solution, they rather make it their own struggle.
It's honestly, I have come to this stage in my life where, and in my business, where I'm like, anyways, I don't entertain people like that anymore. But even when they come, I'm just like,
what do you want to happen that hasn't already been able to happen? Like at any point in time, people can get support. I just became a SCORE mentor, and I've been mentoring people for absolutely free. They have a government program that is attainable for anyone in the United States of America and abroad, I believe, where you can literally get a mentor for free. So there's never any reason for us not to get guidance. But here's back to the last letter of the ICU, understanding. Because one thing that the Bible says is that my people perish for lack of knowledge.
true.
Period. And one thing about that knowledge part is that when you don't, and it also says in all you're getting, get understanding. So when you are doing this business, right? For those of you who think like a business is just like a swift in the wind, it is not. It is for those of us who work businesses. We venture in this because this is a lifelong venture. This is not something that happens just overnight. Something we dedicate ourselves to. Hey, Janelle, Goddess Sase is here. I just feel like really passionate about this, TeeCee, and we'll kind of. I think what came up for me, the reels that we're probably going to share with you guys this week, are just talking. Like I'm going to show you guys the DMs that I get that are like absolute no's, and I think that that'd be a nice reel to share. But TeeCee, I think I want to do like a back and forth reel where we're showing them like when people come in our spaces in different ways, how we overturn those negatives. Like for me, getting into my DMs, it's not easy. It's not easy to get into my DMs. And so for those of you who are in business, when people get into your DMs, number one, all the DMs that are not people that actually engage with you like that, they're in the other piles. You never have to look in there. Never have to look in there. But if you have a primary pile or a main pile of people that you follow and you engage with, then you want to make sure, number one, you're paying attention to those DMs because your follow-ups are in there. And then when you go in there, it may not necessarily be a no just because somebody's saying, I don't understand or whatever, right? I have literally sent out DM messages from ManyChats, automated it, and the link was broken. Okay? So we have to make sure we understand what is actually happening. Like go through your process, see, like check yourself every week. Say, okay, this week I posted this much. This week I talked to this many people. Okay. This many people told me yes. This many people told me no. And out of these people that told me no, let me investigate why those no's took place. Because people don't say no for no reason. And I'll leave you with this last one.
There's a reason.
There is a reason. Sometimes the reason is no reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes the reason is because they just can. Right? That's what I mean by no reason. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. So I caregive for two babies, right? I have a 91-year-old grandmother and I have a 4-year-old niece, okay? And they're around me a lot, okay? They just love it. They love TeeCee. They love the granddaughter. And I say all the time that for some reason, it's very weird that it doesn't matter what you say, guys. You can say, hey, are you ready to eat? No. You can say, hey, you want to play? No. The first answer that comes out of their mouth is no. It doesn't matter if they mean yes, it's just no. And I always wondered about that. I would actually like ask, like, and I did my research. And what I found, guys, is that sometimes people's nervous system is regulated to just say no.
You know?
And I'll give you one more example, and I gotta go. We gotta get out of here so we can go ahead and make some reels for y'all this week, and then get you guys back here next week for the live. We want you guys to really ask questions if you have any in our DMs. That's our way of communicating with you. We're not trying to sell you. We're just trying to make sure that you have a great space so that you communicate. And if you're ready to do the work, we have space for you. I will say this too, though. TeeCee, when it comes down to this whole opportunity of really saying no and being okay with it, when I was in my sales position again, right? I told y'all when I would like sell products inside the Sam's Clubs and the big box retailers, I literally would always get no's, even when I got confident. And this is really what got me to understand these no's. I was not confident at first when I was getting the no's. And I remember this one lady walked past me, and before she could even get close to me, she was like, no. And I'm like, I didn't even say nothing. I was like, I just looked at you. And she's like, no. And so it was so weird because I didn't know like how to take it at first. But I knew that, I was practicing, right? This is why I say practice, because I wasn't perfect, but I was practicing. So when she said no like that, I was practicing my indifference. So I was like, okay, no problem. Thank you. Turn around, right? Because I used to do something called a turn and burn. Y'all need to learn a turn and burn. Okay. Y'all can turn and burn. That's a good one. I got to teach y'all that next Monday. So the turn and burn means that you not only show a difference, but you hurry up and quickly turn to the next opportunity. That way they missed out. It's like a FOMO, right? Like, oh, wait, she's not looking at me no more. So I was practicing that. And so there was another gentleman on the right side of the lady. And so when she said no to me, like she immediately said no. I didn't even get to tell her nothing. I was just like, hey, she's like, no. And I was like, okay, no problem. I said, hi, guy. And the guy next to her was like, what you got? And so he came over and he started just, entertaining me. I started talking to him. Do you know this lady started walking over to see what I had after saying no? And then when she ended up buying stuff for herself and her family. So it's never really a no because somebody just says no. Sometimes, y'all, listen, I have been in situations where I'm like, I don't even understand people no more. Where sometimes because they're just willing to just say no, avoid the situation. And that's why we call this marketing a nurturing process.
True.
Because if you don't know how to nurture people, right? Like, how do you nurture a baby? Your baby cries, you give it a bottle. Your baby whines, you teach it how to cope. Give it coping mechanisms, right? So we're kind of doing the same thing with our clients. And we're teaching them that just because you're irritated and you want to say no right away, doesn't phase us. We understand that no, it may come from a place where you don't even know it comes from. So whenever you're ready, your yes is waiting here, right?
True.
So that's what I'll end with, because guys, we have to be able to give people space, time, and opportunity. I don't understand people. That's why I'm going back to school for psychology, because I don't understand y'all no more. Y'all weird. Go ahead, TeeCee. I'm done.
No, I really enjoy this. And, I would say that y'all should bring your questions, bring your scenarios. Let's talk about this. Let's hear your experiences. Because
wait, Goddess, Janelle, she said, I was told once to say no because you can always go back to say yes. I don't know if you can always go back to say yes. I definitely agree that in business, you do want to take time to make a decision.
True.
But I have said no and could not go back to that yes. So I don't know if that's every situation. I can't say the same for me.
For me, right, I would say that I would not agree with this. Why? Because it's actually safer to say I will get back to you
instead of just no, right?
Instead of no. Because when you say no and then say yes, kind of it just gives this whole indecision kind of energy, kind of not sure, kind of inconsistency, kind of, that's what it
Mhm.
gives. So for me, I would say the safest would be I'll get back to you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
I think especially if you're hesitant about making the decision in that moment, sometimes we're overwhelmed or we have a lot going on and we're like, okay, I have to think about this.
hmm,
But I'm kind of leaning towards this too, Janelle, because as you're saying this, I'm thinking, there's reasons why some people have to say no, right? We're like I haven't been taught to say no a lot in my childhood, right? But in my adulthood, I'm like, I'm saying no every point of the way. 'Cause it's like nobody would accept my no when I was a kid. Y'all gonna accept my no as an adult. So I think sometimes we have to understand, like I said, the last letter U, understand why that no is being said. It's not necessarily about the word itself because it's just too easy of a word, right?
agree.
So let's look at that and move forward. This week we'll kind of put out some reels as to how people say no and how we overturn them, because you can overturn no just by, using the methods we talked today, being indifferent, showing confidence, and understanding that that no is not final. I've had people tell me no last year, and then next thing you know, they're like, I need you.
True.
Right? So,
True.
TeeCee, let's go ahead and end with some final words for our first live stream here for you guys. I want to make sure that you guys follow TeeCee. All right. I'm a big fan of TeeCee, guys. TeeCee is located in Canada. She came from the UK to Canada. She's traveling the world. She's doing her thing. And I love including her in my business presence because you guys get to learn about the back end of business, right? And I get to use my partners to do that. So when I coach you guys, you know exactly who to go to. Trusted resources that I bring on my channel. So if you guys ever need support in these areas of your business, just know that I have already vetted these individuals. TeeCee has been with me for the last, I think, 3-4 years, and we've just kind of like doing these series. And so you guys can kind of just, know that she's going to get you all the way together. But TeeCee, any final words before we get out of here?
I would say think about the scenarios that you've had in your business and in your life, business life kind of, and come back here on Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. I'm correct. Let's have this conversation because the more we share, the more we get answers to our unanswered questions, and we get better clarity as to how to approach all of this. Because one thing I've come to understand that in business, the very silent things are basically what moves the needle, right? This little shifts, those little shifts that we put from our mindsets to the way we run our businesses, the way we show up, all of these things make a huge difference in securing the growth that you want for your business. So let's do it together. Okay, I'll see you all next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. All right, and just stay connected. That's it.
All right. Thank you, TeeCee, and thank you guys for following. So
All
here
right.
at TeeCee, I'm going to drop because I do have a Market and Monetize live that I'm going to just briefly segue into. So let me go ahead and give you some more love.
I can I get this video?
Yeah, I think the replay should be shared with you automatically, but if not, let
Okay.
me know and I'll send it over.
Okay. All right then. Okay. Take care.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you. See
TeeCee.
you all.
Guys, so we're gonna jump into the Market and Monetize. You're gonna have to give me about 15 minutes to reset here, but I do want to thank TeeCee for joining my live, for making sure that we really had an opportunity to bring you guys some of the magic. Like, we literally love to do what we do. It's always giving, okay? And any of my and actually it's so funny because I'm not only bringing on people like TeeCee, I'm bringing on individuals such as, you'll see some clients that come on that are in my business live streams that are going to be on Thursdays. Those Thursday highlights are going to be lit. I can't wait for you guys to actually be a part of that because I see my clients growing on all of their channels. They're not just growing on like one channel anymore. they're accessing multifaceted ways of just seeing how they can spread their message across the board. So when I see my clients growing in that way, because I'm also growing, right? Then we actually get to come on and do collaborations for you guys. So make sure you tune in every day. Not only do I have lives that I'm teaching you guys about business and marketing, but I'm also bringing on my clients, my partners, so that you guys can learn from them as well. This is all about community. But I see Goddess, I say, is it a Goddess? I said,
Oh, goodness. So just like you know how you say Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe, Ashea,
Ashe, yeah. Okay.
mhm.
I didn't say it right. I'm so sorry.
All is well. You got it. Greetings. How's everybody doing tonight? I was over here tapping my screen to give you hearts and like,
Thank
and
you.
even though I sent the request.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm excellent. Just enjoying the night. Of course, I'm outside in this beautiful atmosphere.
I see.
It's just giving, we're alive today. We are feeling amazing and business is good as always. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm
How's the
awesome.
farm?
Everything is good. Did a lot of we had a great start to getting things in order. So we are accepting volunteers out here on our farm. I have a wellness hub and farm. It's called Ruby's Pearls Wellness Hub and Farms. That's the name officially. That's it.
Yeah, I need to follow. Now, I know only a few Black farmers. Janelle is one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we were able to tour her farm and I drank well water for the first time. Just
Good
being
stuff.
introduced to like new and amazing things. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, girl. Good stuff. It's good stuff. I love my well water.
And we learn out here. And we were talking today, and I just want to kind of lean into this because I know you heard of everything we were talking about, and you mentioned some things I'm sure you probably want to add to your comments. And I also just want to segue just for a few minutes to talk about how we really market and monetize on social in our own authentic way. Is I just mentioned that I've noticed my clients, girl, popping off. Like I'm sitting back and I'm just like, what is going on? Because there's so much growth and expansion and there's so much life, right? In that seeing someone literally want to shout at the rooftops that they're good at what they do and not actually holding any limitations. Like I will be everywhere.
Absolutely. Limitless possibilities always. Always. The only boxes you need are to move. Don't put your thought process in a box. I was telling a young lady earlier, I actually connected with a Black farmer in Colorado. So getting out of the Southeast region just in this area and have expanded even further. So I'm in gratitude about that, just connecting with other Black farmers. And it's been interesting. It's like an influx of veterans have been coming my way. So just really, and I say all that to say, people don't realize the type of resources they have, that we put ourselves in a box and then we're thinking, okay, I just need to find the resources that are within this little realm. No, you've lived a life. Get out the box. There are resources everywhere. You have resources all around you, and the priority of how you utilize those resources and knowing where they come from and what they do and how you can utilize them and where you are now. Tap into your resources. Get outside of the box, outside of what you see, that surface level thing and just in front of you. So many people think because, hey, it's farming, I only need to reach out to like USDA, Department of Agriculture. No, like you're in a sorority. No, you're a veteran. No, you've worked at this job for years and you have all of these people that you've met. They all have skills. Agriculture is business, and all the businesses that everyone is doing comes from agriculture. It's just everything stems out. You can do it all. Get out of the box. So yeah, that limited thinking. It's limitless possibilities. always limitless possibilities.
I believe that, first of all, thank you for adding that, because I love how, you're reaching so many different markets of individuals who, because one thing I know about Janelle, y'all, she's a resource queen. Like, she gonna get what she she gonna get what she need. And I love that. I just want to say too, because we were kind of discussing like this, whole overturning no's when it comes to sales. And like, I know that you've been in business for a while, but you actually handle business for people who are in real pain, right? Like people who are looking for real results in their body, real transformation, right? How do you deal with your no's? Like, what is one of the things? 'Cause I put a thing together where I said, listen, we in ICU, baby. You got to, first of all, be indifferent, because the no's are not about you. Okay? They're not about, don't get your feelings hurt because someone said no. It's not about you. It's really about what they need and what they want, if your message aligns with that. Then I said the, I and the C, which is confidence. And that confidence is really what grows you, because if you're practicing, like if you're actually going online, posting, practicing your pitch, seeing if people actually say no or yes, eventually you'll get confident as to what you're doing, but you'll also realize that every no is not really even a no. And I think that leads into understanding. Like,
Absolutely.
sometimes, you just got to understand it. Sometimes people just may not be in a good headspace, and, you're like talking at them, and I just really, went through that process to kind of streamline, just as an introduction, because we're going through examples every week of this, but just an introduction to say, like, let's stop taking these no's so personal and just learn how to overturn that when it happens. And not necessarily with a response necessarily, because we can get into what the physical response is like. I'll give y'all some really crafty ways of responding to a no. Okay. But we're talking about how you receive it and how you disperse that energy when you get that no, right? So tell me your experience and what comes up for you.
Well, I've been in sales before I started working for myself. My background is sales and customer service. Been working in that field for over 20 years. And so someone saying no to me, it was never a stomp on the foot or spit in the, it wasn't that for me. In sales, that if you told me no, oh, it's about to get lit, because it's a whole lot of yeses coming behind you. Like, in sales, it is a place of truth to how you train your brain, and you really embrace your energy of how that abundance comes to you, right? Because that's what sales is about. That's what sales is about. And so with that being my foundation, flowing into business for me, once I added that extra layer on, because I'm really big about my personal business of me and that growing. And when I became intentional about my words, and I learned that it's your business and not mine. So how you feel, how you think, that's your business. And I don't take it personally, because it doesn't belong to me. I stop holding on to other people's energy, and taking all of that is how I move in business. It's how I move in my personal life. It's how I move in life. So, and you typically, I'm the one that'll pass out a no, or let me see, or like today. I again met this young lady, needed some additional assistance. But what I'm doing in my business and the help that she needed, I needed to connect her with a resource, because to take me from my personal business is $150 an hour.
Yeah.
Plus $1,500 deposit with a minimum of 3 hours. Because that's how important what I have to do. I have the resources, I have the knowledge. The beautiful thing is I can connect you with someone else. And so therefore, I said no. However, it was a solution based no, and an opportunity to still have access to what was needed. And I even was able to send her home with some homework because again, this I was telling her about getting out the box, like writing down all of her resources. And so so I would do something like that. Yeah. So that's how I handle it. I usually am the one passing them out.
I hear this thing about people that have been in sales. I've been in sales. I have gotten that practice of just kind of getting those no's out the way. And so I think that is a measure for those of us who start business and have never been in sales. I think that you have to consider that.
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen that as a common thread, right? I personally have also had a lot of experience in hospitality and bartending. That means that I've had more experience with people than most people have. I know Janelle has had the same experience.
Absolutely.
So, I think also just being realistic about your no. Is your no based on the fact that they don't want your product, or is it based on the fact that you just don't have the skill set yet, right? I personally had to, even as a business coach, learn how to be a business coach. Just because I became a business coach didn't mean that I was fully educated in all the works of it. I still had to learn in the market how people were, what the market was, and I also had to have book knowledge, right, and understanding, and I had to have coaching. It didn't just come with. So the no's I was getting in the beginning of my business coaching experience, since we're sharing,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I did, guys? In order for me to get less no's, I started beta testing. The truth is, the reason why I was getting a lot of no's is because I just didn't know like exactly why they were saying no. So I beta tested, and I still do this to this day. And so this is one thing I was going to say, but since we're on market and monetize right now in this 8 o'clock hour, guys, just being very real with y'all. If you're not actually testing the market, which beta testing, you can do that for 30 days. You can do it for 90 days, 60 days, whatever. You can do it for a year if you want. You do it longer. But if you're actually beta testing to get to a goal where you're saying, like, I know this market well enough that I can go in and know who my audience is, that is going to give you so much confidence in what you're doing, because now, number one, you have proven resources, right? Every beta testing program that I've done when it comes to marketing, it allowed me to, number one, do my research. Like, are these people actually wanting what I have? The biggest, like the biggest letdown is like going out there and talking about what you do, and then nobody's responding because nobody really is going after that right now, right? Like say in the pandemic where people were promoting a lot of stuff, but people started becoming more health conscious. They started wanting to exercise more. They started thinking about their life differently.
Absolutely.
So you had to know that was shifting in the market in order to see, because you may be getting a lot of no's because you out here serving unhealthy food, unhealthy solutions.
Absolutely.
And the world is shifting.
Absolutely. Always being in a space where you're willing to continue to learn. But in every room that we teach, we're students. And that is so pivotal when you are interacting with people and living, because this world is ever changing, ever enhancing. We constantly have to continued education. And that's how we continue to grow and enhance our businesses and our personal business as well.
I love that. And I think that, first of all, guys, one of the things, how long have you been in business, Janelle? I know. Yeah, you lose count sometimes because we just be going, right? And
oh no, this is 6 years.
6 years, see? Well, I be losing count. I don't even know anymore at this point. It's my life.
And this is just this business. Well, originally the business that was started here.
Maybe the business that you're referring to now, but a lot of us have been business owners. Like I tell you guys, it's been over 20 years for me. Yeah. I don't like to even go that far because it shows my age. But I really want to say that at an early age, I made a decision on business, right? So I kind of have a leg up a little bit, I guess, if you want to say too. But like I said, when you are in business, it's ever evolving. So every 10 years, guys, I relearn things. I re-educate myself. I renew my mind on the market, and I'm constantly doing market research. So being able to say like, and market research doesn't mean that you have to have like, I literally go to ChatGPT and I go, hey, what's up, sis? We need to talk today. Before I used to go to Google, I used to go out to the public, I used to take surveys, I used to have to do all this massive stuff just to connect the dots, right? I used to even go to Starbucks and sit there and talk to people drinking their coffee and ask them questions, right? It's all market research. The best market research is that direct response when you're right in front of that person. And this is what I've done, guys. I said the beta testing was one thing, but you know what happens after beta testing? You know, people drop off because beta testing usually is free. So they're getting to take advantage of what you're doing. They get the benefit of going through it. But then at the end of my beta testing, they have to give a testimonial, right?
Absolutely.
So that means that I know if it's a vetted process or not, if it's really, really good. But here's what is an extension of that, right? Because beta testing is one form of market research. But what happens after the beta testing is done? And when you're constantly like marketing yourself and you're like doing the business, right? What happens after the beta testing is done? Well, what happens is we start to just market ourselves to the people that we want to sell to, right? Because we think we know our audience.
Right. Right.
And then we're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. Right? I've done this. And then, you know, I literally got to the point, guys, where I started to see that, first of all, the market was changing too fast for me to assume that. So I had to actually start going in people's DMs after my beta testing and check in and say, hey, how's it going? Same thing with emails. Hey, how's it going? Same thing with phone calls. Hey, how's it going? And what that allowed me to do was that allowed me to, number one, keep loyal buyers, because the people who are really actively changing with the marketing and wanting what I had, they were like, oh, I was just thinking about you, right? I just didn't know what you had. And I wasn't even creating things actively because the market was changing so much, guys. So sometimes we don't even know what to create. We're like, I got this one product. I know that people need something else. I'm just not sure what that is. You just literally can just ask them. Like, I literally go in the DMs and say, hey, how did you enjoy your session with me? Or how did you enjoy my content? Or, you know, you've been following me for a while. Why haven't you gotten into my programs? Literally a direct freaking question. And I don't know how many of us actually go into a DM and ask a freaking direct question. And I'll kind of like digress on this because I'm starting to get really, really amped up because I really am passionate about this area, okay? I was on Clubhouse for years. I still am. And I mastered the methodology of literally pulling people off of Clubhouse into my sales funnel. It was like that. Nothing. Piece of cake. Because actively at the time, a lot of people were already home in their beds, not doing anything anyway. And they didn't want to show their face on social media. They got sleep in their eye. So they like, I'd rather be on the Clubhouse app and I'll listen to what this girl is. I literally every day, guys, would just go on their social media app. And one step that most people did not get that I got, whenever I would end the room, I would go straight to their Instagram. I never stayed on Clubhouse. And that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy is that people will be like, you went to their Instagram? Absolutely. Because in the beginning of Clubhouse, that's all we had was an Instagram channel attached to the bio. So if you never took the next step outside of the room to actually pull people, like literally when I started the Win community, guys, nobody was signing up to be in a directory. That's the first thing we had. Nobody was signing up. They were like, hey, Mr. Summertime, what's up? And they weren't like, okay, you know, let me join this directory because Allegra's so amazing. No, they was like, I'm gonna put my money nowhere. I don't know what this is. Until I would go in their DMs after they got on my stage on Clubhouse, and they would promote their business after a few times. And I would go in their DMs on Instagram and say, did you click the link at the top of the room to get your directory? Thank you, Mr. Summertime. I appreciate the love. I would go, did you click the link? And you know what? Some people never responded. The majority of those people, about 80% of those people were convicted because they got on my stage. right? So now I'm not just a voice on a stage.
Right.
I'm now in yours. You got in my space? You got value in my space?
Right.
I'm gonna get back in your space because I now want to
Absolutely.
know through market research why you were not impressed enough to click that link. What was holding you back? And I found out a lot of stuff, guys. I found out a lot. And so this is where your power comes from. This is where your sovereignty comes from. When you know that you're the best at the best of the best of the best, you literally have to dissect this thing like it's supposed to make sense. If we're not taking that last step to say, I'm getting in your face, why didn't you click that link? Most of the time, we never even know why they said no.
I like that. I love the follow up. I'm serious. I love the follow up. I love the follow up because after, that's one thing that they always say we should do. Always ask follow up questions to understand. Talk about in a relationship. Anytime that you are in a place where you're trying to truly have some understanding about someone's thought process, you ask follow-up questions.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
and you would think it's so natural to say, well, this is a part of the marketing and this is a part of getting where I need to go in business as well. Well, you said no. Well, not just why did you say no, but as you said, you're on the stage. Did you click the link to sign your business up? Because your actions was no, because clearly you ain't signed up. But it's more than just why. Let me put some more words in this. So now you're in a place of accountability.
Ooh, there you go. Keep them accountable. Keep people accountable for what they say they're going to do.
Absolutely. I like to call superpowers. I am very, very huge on accountability, on actions, words lining up with actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so big on consistency and patterns. I watch them. I study them. I listen. You watch how you learn a lot about people like that.
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
But this is also why people create systems, guys, because your system will avoid the absolute absent no. Some no's are literally misunderstood because we don't get to directly ask each person, but you can actually set up a system, right? That as soon as they get into your funnel, like they show interest in any way, they're not getting bombarded, but they're getting put in position where you're giving them a chance, right? As like sometimes I'll sign up for stuff and I'm not ready to go the full mile, but I'll get an email reminder. Hey, that's in your shopping cart. Hey, you forgot to finish your process. That's not somebody checking me in my DMs. That's literally the system saying, you said you was going to buy this and you didn't follow through.
I got an email today and one of them said, I seen that you were browsing.
Period. That's exactly what we do on the WIN website. As soon as you go to one of our websites that we know that we want you to sign up on, it says, thank you for visiting. We saw that you visited the WIN Ambassador website. It's like we know that those automations are available. Like there's no excuse not to be able to follow up. You can literally, like, if you don't know something, just go to AI and ask a question. Like my AI, I figured it out. I first thought that maybe AI was limited until I started using my own, and I was like, oh, y'all tripping. I said, y'all tripping, because I literally go to Sage and I'd be like, Sage, I just saw something and I don't know what it is. Can you just tell me it looks like this? And Sage would be like, oh, that was I'll be like, sis, like, how you know so much? Because artificial intelligence is artificial, but it's intelligent. We have already dumped all of the knowledge in the entire world into this thing.
Absolutely. They've been pulling our information ever since we went book wild on the internet.
Yeah. Your only job is to curate it to be who you need it to be, right? So like, if I'm talking to it, I'm like, like talk like Allegra would respond to her clients, right? And I have to train that model. But it does not change the fact that I can easily get answers And I have had so many situations, guys, where I was stuck. I had a DM from someone who, you guys know, I think I have 9 seats left before the end of the year for my business growth and clarity intensive. And when I say that program is bomb, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't know what's gonna happen in 2026 because I don't even know what's gonna happen because I don't know. But I do feel like at the end of the day, y'all, like with this whole process, I have been able to assess who is for the business by just going to my ChatGPT and saying, who would this program be geared for? I have literally done that. I've also been able to say in my ChatGPT, after someone, thank you so much for the love, Mrs. Summertime. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
I give them your heart for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm tired, y'all. I'm just so like, but I'm just in a position where I'm not using ChatGPT as my brain, but I am resting in the fact that I know it, so I don't have to do it, choose to or not. The days when I'm like, I'm gonna let my brain rest a little bit, I literally go to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, someone just responded to my initial offer and this is what they said. What would be a good response to send back to them?
Absolutely.
Stage be like, this is what you say. And I'll take it and I'll tweak it and I'll respond right back. It takes less than 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Use all your resources unapologetically.
So when we talk about when we talk about this thing, guys, it's not necessarily about the fact that you're going to get a lot of no's, because we know that. It's not the fact that the no's have to hurt you. We don't care. It's not the fact that you can't market yourself, because you can market yourself all the time, and you can also take in marketing information that's going to guide you even further to make sure that you get the money and you monetize. Okay. But along the way, I want you guys to check and balance, because what we just mentioned today, hey, Angelica, welcome back. What we just mentioned today, very, very simple structures, right? I told y'all, after actually posting, after actually visiting, like somebody come into my space, what was my next step? In the DMs. When you come and when you're commenting and when you're going on stuff and you're like, yeah, I like that, I need that or whatever, I'm going in your DMs and I want to say, hey, here's the link, right? Or, hey, I want to know more about this. I want to know more about you if I'm unsure, right? Absolutely. And also being able to even ask someone a question, meaning that, y'all, I have literally blasted out something that I was sharing for a long time, which I didn't see anybody commenting on. And I went and I blasted it out in the DMs because I was pissed. I was like, ain't nobody commenting on my stuff. I'm blasting it out in the DMs because I wanted people to see what I posted.
Now, I don't know what the algorithm hitting like. Let me just make sure.
I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was going on because it wasn't even like, you know, some people are like, oh, I got to figure out the algorithm. I don't care about figuring out no algorithm. Okay. I get it. But baby, I got direct access, especially don't let me have your phone number. Don't let me have your email. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to find whatever viable avenue to reach you and to make sure that we are good. Right. This is a business transaction. I want to make sure that you are good. And if you're not, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love how you said you got partners and resources. We all should have partners and resources.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was, so that I can tell you the correct title. So I was reading this book called How to Be a Power Connector. Baseball, if you only... excuse me. The 5 + 50 + 100 rule. And it just talks about knowing how to put your resources in place. That 100, well, she says it's 150. 5. So yeah, 5, 50, 100. Yeah. So knowing like those tight 5, that's that tight knit circle of your business resources. Mm-hmm. And knowing what everybody brings to the table. I always tell people, look, in business, you gotta even in personal life, personal business, there people sit at different tables and they have different levels of access to you. Every level is important. right? Every level is important. However, every conversation is different, though. The level of conversation that you can have when it comes to your personal business and your business, based on skill and what they bring to what you're doing, right? It's about reciprocity, but the whole point of them sitting at the table that they're sitting at is about what they can do for you. That part.
Yeah. Y'all, listen, I think part of what this is really meaning for me, because we could probably go all night talking about some of this stuff, but I want to be very mindful because I see people looking for me, and I need to kind of make my way in the downturn. After 9 o'clock, I start really, really going down. So let's just kind of digress here, okay? What you're saying, I think is so beautiful, because I feel like sometimes you have to be very much aligned with who you need to really serve, and that takes research, that takes time. It just does. And for me, I remember being in a space where I was so frustrated about who I was attracting in my business, right? I was just like, I was aligning myself with the wrong partners, wrong people, wrong places, wrong things. But that was just where I was at the time, right? And I remember, and I told this story before, and I'll kind of end with this notion. When I had my first business, that was really where I learned most of my lessons. My second business was like, oh, okay, we could do that. My first business was like, I learned a lot. And I remember a customer telling me, after giving him a package pricing, I thought I was the bomb. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm making all this money, okay? I'm not even looking at the market. I'm not looking at what other company. I'm thinking I'm like the only unique type of company out here like this, right? A bartending company, right? And Janelle know how I used to bartend in Arizona's, and I've had a background of bartending since 04. So from 04 to 07, I'm like thinking, damn, girl, got it. You know what I'm saying? I got these years under my belt. I can do that, And I start running the business now. Running the business is different from being the employee, okay? Running the business is different from taking home that few $100s, you know what I'm saying, you made at bar that night, and you don't have to actually pay taxes with it. You don't actually have to disperse it among employees. You don't have to you got to do none of that, right? You just keep, it's not like that. So when I did business, I used to charge very minimally because I really wanted to make sure that my clients were able to afford me. And I didn't see the value, okay? And I remember getting to a part where I wasn't getting any clients. Like when I first started, guys, people were hiring me from my bar, still at Arizona's, right? So I had a lot of loyal clients, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hire you. But after a while, and I became a manager at a different restaurant, I didn't see those people no more. So it wasn't like I was in front of their face every day, handing my business card out, telling them to come hire me, right, as a bartender. So I wasn't getting that business anymore. And do y'all know that I started to really get desperate? I was doing weddings and different events. And this one guy, he actually was so honest with me. And I was so thankful that he did this. But first of all, he didn't even respond, but he was so eager at first. So I was like, why didn't he respond and pay his invoice? I don't get it. So I reached out to him, and I was like, I'm confused. I just want to make sure everything's okay. This is what I mean by reaching out.
Following up, yeah.
This was not in a DM. This was me calling him and saying, I know you haven't paid it, and I know you probably is past the deadline, and you're probably not going to go with me anymore, because that's really what it was, right? It was like, oh, it's past the deadline. I know he's not going to hire me now, but why? Like, he was so gun-ho. He asked me for the invoice. So when I called and when I asked, I was so embarrassed at first, because I was like, oh my God, this man going to think I'm chasing him for money. He going to think I'm just like, I'm hurt or something. But honestly, I really was curious. I really need to know. He said, Allegra, he said, I'm glad you called. He said, because I wasn't going to say nothing. He said, but your prices was so low that it seems sketchy. He's like, I really didn't know how to take it. So I just kind of left it where it was. And, we had to hurry make a decision. I missed that opportunity. And the person he went with was charging almost 5 times as much as I was. Why did he deny buying from me? Why did he say no? That no came from the fact that I was undervaluing myself. I learned through that experience and through that market research that sometimes your no's are coming to the fact that people see that you don't even value who you are.
Come on.
So why would they say yes to that?
Come on.
That's all I got.
And y'all take that personally. Make it your personal business and your business. Let me tell you how this reflects in your personal life. It reflects in your business and your personal business. Take these tools and use them.
I still feel the rejection till this day. I still feel the feeling, guys, and it doesn't bother me, but it's an awareness of what that feeling felt like when I got that no, and I felt that anxiety rise up in me. Right? It was like I was like, and then and here's another thing. Right? At that time, it was like for me, it was devastating because I was still in the beginning of building the business. So that no felt devastating. If I would have never cleared that up, I don't even know if I would have really been able to continue like I did with my business. Because sometimes we get a certain type of no and we don't figure out where that no comes from, and we actually internalize it. And we start to think everybody,
Especially everything is flowing. It feels good. Yeah, I'm about to get the. What happened? Because I do that. I will follow up as well. I follow up. I do. I'm huge on the follow up. Yeah. Always follow up. Find out. Ask questions. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. Well, we ask questions. Is how we learn. We take it and we enhance ourselves, and that's how we grow.
yeah. Take that no like you mean it.
Absolutely. Receive it is a gift.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
I like that. Let's end with that. Receiving a no is a gift, right? Because even when you, and I love how you're putting this across the board, because even when you get a no in a relationship, get a no at a job, you get a no for a next opportunity, which is an NO, next opportunity.
Come on.
Right? That's from LaShawn West. I can't take that one. She taught me that. But honestly, like, you're right. Like, you gotta really, really love your nose. You gotta respect your nose. You gotta accept your nose. And honestly, if I never got a no, I wouldn't be as blessed as I am today, because some of those no's were protection from God. Some of those no's were protection from a situation that would have got me in a bad business deal. Some of those no's were actual opportunities for me to work with the right clients and not the wrong ones. I'll leave it there. All right.
Absolutely. Divine alignment. Where there's a yes, there's a no. Where there's light, there's dark. There's always opposites, and they all work for you.
Yeah.
It all works in harmony and balance. People hear things just because they have it's a word, and somebody said this word describes this action, feeling, person, place, or thing. And look, it is balance. It is balance, and we all need balance. Take your gifts, learn your lessons, grow, flow. Yeah. Move in abundance and prosperity.
And I just want to, before we leave, segue to your next live stream. You have something coming up here on TikTok, and I know it's going to be very interesting for this discussion. So let everyone know what's going on.
Yes, y'all. Well, first and foremost, y'all go ahead and follow me as well. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going live on TikTok with Conversations with Natasha Janelle. This is the Food and Sex series. We're going straight from the kitchen to the sheets. Let me tell you, and there's so much in between where you're going to learn about the types of foods that you're putting in your body and how it translates into your health and your sexual health and the types of things that we're actually passing through that sexual connection to our partners. How do we choose our partners according to our lifestyles? How do we cut those cords from those soul ties because we want to be out here busting it open and yeah, all that good stuff. I was about to say some more. I'm gonna just you get what I'm throwing down. So every first, third, and fifth Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will find myself and a host of my panelists, friends, community partners, network. You will find them on the live, and we're all bringing our true selves, our real lived experiences, our wisdom, and all of our skills and energy to the table. We're going to laugh. Some people may even cry, and there may be some all kind of stuff going on, but just know that you're going to walk away with another perspective, a thought process, and some fun, awareness, and some tools. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every first, third, and fifth Wednesday of the month. Can't nobody hear you, girl.
I said, they heard it here. Join on Wednesday. Guys, I'm tired. Okay. Thank you so much. And y'all, listen, if you really want to be in a space with someone who's connected, I love how you mentioned that there's so many resources outside of just what we commonly know, right? Because that's what connection really is. It's not about, just knowing the general, like, I know USDA, because I be preaching it, guys. That's all I know. But I'm not a Black farmer. So y'all need to get with Natasha Janelle, Goddess Ashe. To make
Goddess Ashe, baby. Look, and we'll go into that name another day. But I have I'm rebranding the company, so a lot of things will be rolling out. So you will all be able to see the glow up. My sister Allegra has put energy into assisting me with this rebranding. Have some other community partners that have connected with me to assist me in this rebranding for myself and what we are providing the community. So very excited. Y'all follow the process. Y'all will find me on all social media, always Janelle, and Ruby's Pearls products on all social platforms. Y'all can go to the website rubiespearls.com, and I'll put that in the chat. But yeah, follow me everywhere. Follow the process and watch the rebrand, the glow up, and everything else that's gonna happen. Because believe you me, it's somewhere you want to fly to. Y'all want to come out, check out what it looks like. Y'all can camp out here. Eventually, you'll be able to stay in the cabin out here. But right now, we're gonna thug it out. Y'all come out here and camp, and it's still fun.
Yeah. Well, I just want to give a highlight to the community service aspect because I know a lot of people are looking to volunteer, learn how to grow their food, just get in an atmosphere where they're around other farmers. And I know that you have a volunteer day that you do, that you're doing ongoing so that people can get an opportunity to join you on the farm. And here's what I say about
Absolutely.
that. Connection, y'all, and community, they do go hand in hand a lot. I have volunteered a lot in my life. That was one of my highlights when especially if I wasn't working or something like that, which is the weirdest thing, right? You're not working, but you're volunteering. That's actually what I would do when I wasn't working. And it was the best thing I could because volunteerism got me more connections than I would have if I wasn't volunteering. And it was great because it was gearing me to find a new job or is gearing me to get to that next level in my business, whatever I needed. So staying active and doing things like volunteering in community is so, so, so important. You guys get to go into the Ruby's Pearls Facebook group. It's like the Ruby's Pearls
Wellness community. I put it in the chat.
Thank you so much, sis. And, guys, go in there and start sharing your own wellness journey. I personally love Ruby's Pearls products because, number one, they smell good. They feel good. I'm a very, very natural person. I'm high sensory. I'm figuring this out more as I'm getting older. And And I was wondering why I would always scream when my jellies was on when I was a kid, or like my jean buckle would irritate my stomach, or like the lining of my pants would irritate my leg. Why? Because my high sensory would really get in the way and I would feel really uncomfortable, right? And so being as though I figured those things out first, I know that there are some products that I need to have for myself that do not weigh my skin down, that do not feel heavy on me. And that's one thing I love about Ruby's Pearls, is that every oil that I've tried, the massage oil, the goddess oil, like the herbs that I had, right? Everything, it feels so good to digest and to take in. So if my body agrees with it, then I know it's good because I have trained my body to accept all the good things in life. I be sinning sometimes, but I get all the good things that I can get. But I just wanted to shout Ruby's Pearls out because the truth is, it is a very, very essential brand. You guys identify with that in your health journey, your wellness journey. And I think the highlight of it is that it's attached to a farm that you guys can actually get that full on healing and wellness for your entire self. It's not just about taking home the product. It's about actually being in the environment where you can ground yourself. You can garden and learn how to plant your own food.
Absolutely.
Learn how to do things like I saw Janelle doing your workouts in your sweatshop and just really like
at the sweatshop.
Your body getting them toxins out.
Absolutely, honey. Yes, I do. I have me a little sauna, and yeah, like you said, it's more than just products. It's an entire experience. Come out and you'll get self-sustainability tools for life. For life. It's about mind, body, and spirit alignment. Yeah. So these products are here, but they are not a band-aid. You have to truly learn to take care of yourself. I'm only here to guide. I'm here to guide. I don't even say I'm here to help people. No, I'm here to guide you. You're helping yourself because that's a choice you have to make. People will pay money and won't follow through on something that's for them.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'd rather give you your money back, but because just to be it, my energy is that valuable that you need to put in the time and the effort for yourself. You have to choose this, and it's choosing it in every moment. Every moment you make decisions. Every moment. People think minutes, days, putting it in a space of time. No, it's every moment.
Intentionality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Allegra, I am with you. I've been up since 2:30.
Let's go to bed, girl. All right. Y'all gotta go. We gotta go. Have an amazing night, everyone. Thank you so much, Janelle, Goddess, Asha, for making sure that you just present yourself today and grace us with your presence. Y'all, listen, I do not take for granted the time that y'all spend with me. I really, really do appreciate it. And every single time that we go live, we go in a space, I just pray that you receive a heap of value that you can use, implement, that you can move forward with, and hopefully come back and just get more of that value. All right. So we'll see you guys on the next live stream. Have an amazing night.
I'll see y'all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Conversations with Natasha Janelle, Food and Sex Series.
And it's not what you think it is. So y'all better join the fear of find out.
It may be what you think it is, and then some too.
Or it may not. You never know.
You never.
You better come.
Limitless possibilities.
I'm going to be there, guys. So I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what this is all going to turn out to be, because I have some things already in my mind that I remember back in the day. Because I was born in the 80s, guys, and food and sex back then is different from food and sex today. And we talk about it.
We're going to talk about it all.
All right, girl.
All right, later.
Bye.